Now, a mass hunger strike at a UK immigrant detention centre has gone into its 7th day, with protests now spreading to facilities across Britain. RT, along with independent journalists and organisations, have collected some of the inmates' stories.
The condition here is very bad nowadays, totally like a prison. No one is allowed to go out. Officers who are working in here, they're very racist with us. They're like behaving with us like an animal.
They don't have ears to hear. They don't have heart to beat. When the guys were protesting outside, they said, go inside, otherwise we use hardware to put you people inside and lock up. The water was shut for all day. We are dying. One of my pets went to the hospital, started vomiting because he was not eating. Now we don't know where he is.
And the Home Office, they are playing ignorant to us. We are slaves here. We are being treated like criminals. We are being intimidated here. We are being harassed here. If you are dying, you die in the room. Please help us to achieve the truth.
The hunger strike began at the Harmondsworth Immigration Removal Centre. It's a complex of rather bland-looking buildings located on the outskirts of London, close to Heathrow Airport. However, there is one thing about it that stands out. The whole centre is surrounded by high fences and barbed wire, making it look a lot like a prison. The centre houses around 600 immigrants, and around half of those held there are now on hunger strike. RT's Harry Fear reports from outside the facility in London.
Well, protesters are here outside chanting freedom from the outside of the Colnbrook and Harmondsworth immigration removal centres, and they are supporting, with this solidarity protest just on the outside of this fence, those detainees inside who are also protesting, wanting these centres to be shut down. This is now day 7 of more than 150 detainees' hunger strikes. Their message that they want to be heard is that their indefinite detention in these centres is inhuman. Joining me now is Ahmed, who was detained in this removal centre for 2.5 months. He's from Uganda. Could you please describe to me what these centres are like? I understand that they're akin to Category B prisons.
The detention centre is it is so inhuman that they lock people around all the time. There's no freedom. There's no freedom of expression. The healthcare system is so unhuman.
We've seen detainees sending us messages from the windows, the barred windows, holding up posters today and their hands against the glass. How desperate is their situation inside?
They are very desperate because most of them have stayed there for more than a year. Others have stayed there for even three years. And that's how bad the situation is. They are really desperate. They want to come out of this place, and that's why we have come here to fight to see that the detention centers are closed down and people are let free, because this is Britain claims to be a country of freedom. So the only way for us to fight against this is to make sure they close down the detention centers and allow those people inside there to also enjoy the freedom that any other person is enjoying at the moment.
Ahmed, thank you very much for talking to RT. We also learned last night some reports that in some cases phones had been confiscated by the authorities here. Also some reports which are unconfirmed that in some cases news websites have been blocked on the internet, the internet-enabled computers in some of these centres which detainees are able to use. And campaigners say that authorities have blocked these sites in order to stem the growing momentum of these hunger-striking protests. Now, these protests have not really yet been covered properly by the mainstream media here in the UK.
Harmondsworth Immigration Removal Centre has had its fair share of controversy. In 2004, there were major disturbances after an immigrant committed suicide there. 2 years later, riot police were brought in to halt a protest after a damning inspector's report was issued. And last year, there was a non-violent protest which was broken up by security forces. When the hunger strike began, the British Home Office released a statement. It insisted that detention and removal are essential parts of effective immigration controls. It also claimed that they take the dignity and respect of detainees seriously. And the chief executive running the detention facility says that it tries to create the best possible environment for detainees. But the actual state of affairs, well, that is hard to verify as filming inside is banned. However, investigative journalists from the Corporate Watch Group managed to sneak in with a hidden camera, and they asked a member of staff why videotaping is prohibited. You can hear the answer for yourself on the following video.
You're in government, right, and you have an illegal immigrant centre, which is what this is, right, detention centre, yeah, and they all have their phones with them, right, and like the fight kicks off, or like there's bad conditions, which this centre, there's bad conditions, right, and you guys are taking photos of these bad conditions, like the rats and whatever. And you're sending this, and you're sending that outside, sending it to news, whatever. That looks bad for the government, doesn't it? So they're not going to all these sending fights, or you're sending like, or someone's cutting themselves, and you're taking a picture of that and sending it outside and being like, look what's happening.
RT is closely following the ongoing protests. We've also launched the hashtag Detained Voices. Head to Twitter, let us know what you think about the situation, and we will keep you posted on what people are saying.